My name is Edgar DeJesus, and today we're going to talk about combining your major pentatonic scale with your major scale in order to create some like really cool soloing stuff in worship environments, or I mean, really in any music, but worship is kind of what I know best. It's what I've been doing for a long time. So I'm going to play kind of like an ambient loop that I already have recorded and play over it, and then I'll go over what we're doing. So let's do it. So yeah, what I was doing in there, it was just combining two scales. We have our major pentatonic scale, which I think a lot of us know. It's a scale that kind of like shapes us as guitarists. And if you don't know your major pentatonic scale, a good thing to do is to go back before you continue this video and go learn your major scale and your major pentatonic scale. And if you know those two, keep on watching because we're going to get into combining the two. And so just briefly going over your major pentatonic scale, we're in the key of E. So we're going to start with our root note on the seventh string, the seventh fret of your A string, right? That's your E. And so the major pentatonic scale is, right? You can extend it by going to your low E string on the seventh fret and doing the same thing, staying in that box. Right? And then we have our major scale in the key of E, also starting with our seventh fret on the A string. And then extending it, going up. Right? And so I know a lot of the times when you learn a scale, you kind of stay in that scale. And so the cool thing about combining these two scales is that it's in the same key. So you have your relative major and relative minor. So in the key of E major, your relative minor is C sharp, right? So you have, this is your C sharp minor scale right here. Right? And so let's turn off that reverb. So combining these two, right? And so in order for your scales or for your soloing to not be so confined, you know, this is a good way. For me, it was really the next step in my playing that kind of helped me break, for lack of better terms, like a robotic playing. And it expanded those two scales for me, bringing them together instead of just staying in the two. And so what that looks like is just combining the notes in these scales. Right? And then just playing around with it. The best way to learn how to do this is just noodle. If you don't have a looper, right, and you're an electric guitarist, you're doing it wrong. We all need a looper. There's such great teachers. There's such great practice instruments or tools. And so put together a loop in any key. Practice every key. I highly recommend go through all your keys, and then just start figuring out where these chords are, these notes are. right? They're on the scale. Right? And so the fun part is once you get to a place where you feel comfortable in the patterns and the shapes of where these notes are, you're able to a lot more freely come up with lead lines, right? Any person who's been playing guitar for any amount of time, you figure out some licks, right? You'll hear a lot of me going, right? A lot of bends. I do this a lot. Right? And that's just me finding notes within those two scales that I really like combining and then putting them together. I think coming up with licks in like the blues keys is like a lot of fun. And that's just farting around, farting around with your major scales and your minor scales, and then finding what works in between. And for me, this was what really unlocked playing lead guitar, like I said, in worship music, because I found myself being able to kind of create new licks and just like ambient, fun stuff that's going on in the background. But not only that, it has really helped me find the lead lines to songs really quick. You know what I'm saying? If there's a song and you know the key, you can use those two scales to very quickly find where those lead lines are. And so, yeah, I hope that helps you as much as it did me, because I remember being a guitarist and discovering this, and it was just like the holy grail to me, learning lead lines and learning how to play behind the band or to add accents. So, yeah, like I said, I hope that really helps you in your journey of playing electric guitar, playing lead lines, because I'm telling you, it's if you haven't ventured there, do it. Don't be afraid.